from Cleveland
Mike
and Lakers.
Vanessa.
And he was the assistant coach under Steve Kerr at Golden State. So now you're getting paid for being an assistant coach at Golden State while you still getting a check from Cleveland and the Lakers. So I'm like, Mike, like, niggas won't get, all right, fuck it.
Fire me.
Yeah. Niggas acting crazy. As long as niggas pay me. So I think you made a great, I only have too much to say about what you just said because you made
Moving along, back on December 27th, the Sacramento Kings parted ways with head coach Mike Brown and they hired Doug Christie. As of December 30th, the Kings were on a 7-game winning streak until losing to the Bucks last night. So basically the tea with this situation is that the GM never spoke about the firing of the head coach until recently. Got a little bit of a long quote, but I'm going to read it so you guys know what he said. He said, "I would say first how much we appreciate Mike and everything that he did for this organization and for breaking the playoff drought. I have the utmost respect for him, and obviously it was a tough decision when that time came. But at the same time, now Doug is the interim head coach, and it's our job to continue to support him and get him the support he needs for those players. And for him, he brings what he brings to the table, and he's got to be himself. And right now, I think the guys are really responding to that." So Mace, going to ask you first, do you feel like Mike Brown's firing was valid? And then how do you feel about the GM taking so long to basically respond to the firing of him?
As the GM, let's start with the GM because all change comes from the top, Paul. So when you're thinking of a GM and he decides that he wants to address this year in the middle of the playoffs, it's his role to actually address it whenever he desires to address it. Sometimes it's not the opportune time to address things, and that's just a style of his leadership. And when I think of when he's talking about Doug Christie, right? Doug Christie is a former player of the Sacramento Kings, so he comes with a lot of fanfare and people loving him because he was one of the fan favorites of the team. And when you think of him coaching that team, I can see how he would rally that team. He's more like a player's coach, or however you say that. And definitely he's going to get a better outcome than Mike Brown with that team. I think Mike Brown was one of those old school kind of coaches that demanded certain things, but he lost the communication between him and his superstar. A lot of times when you see a coach exiting, that's why he's exiting, because he lost the ear of the superstar. It's going to be hard to coach a team if you lose the ear of the superstar. Sometimes you got great chemistry and camaraderie and communication with everybody else, but people begin to follow the superstar. And when you got that locker room divided, it's going to be hard to win because people just won't play for you. You know, when it's time to win games, it's easy to win when the players want to play for that coach. And you could see that they lost that 2 seasons ago. It seemed like the Kings were going to be the team that start rising out of the West. It looked like they were right there with Golden State. They needed one more piece to beat Golden State, and now it doesn't seem like they're nowhere near being that dominant team in the West. So he had to go. And I think he was doing pretty good with the Lakers and different things like that. But Sacramento, he lost the locker room. Still a great coach, just lost the locker room.
Mike Brown. Mike Brown is probably the most paid head coach that don't even be coaching.
What do you mean not coaching?
That nigga gets paid like low. First of all, he's at Cleveland, right? They fire him at Cleveland, but they still got to pay him what's on his contract, so he goes coach the Lakers. While he's coaching the Lakers, he gets paid from Cleveland. While he's coaching the Lakers, he gets fired from the Lakers and becomes the assistant coach with Golden State, but the Lakers still have to pay him. So now
he was getting two checks? Cleveland and the Lakers.
Cleveland and the Lakers, and then let me make sure that I'm right, but I remember this. He was getting 2 checks from Cleveland and the Lakers.
Vanessa.
And he was the assistant coach under Steve Kerr at Golden State. So now you're getting paid for being an assistant coach at Golden State while you still getting a check from Cleveland and the Lakers. So I'm like, Mike, like, niggas won't get, all right, fuck it.
Fire me.
Yeah. Niggas acting crazy. As long as niggas pay me. So, I think you made a great. I only have too much to say about what you just said because you hit the nail on the head. Pause when you sit there and say it looked like Sacramento was like right there. The year before last, I believe, when they kept hitting the
they go bing.
And Steph Curry got mad and said he went there, go ahead, hit that shit now. But it looked like okay, they took Golden State to 7 games. Next year they should come back looking good, and the season wasn't the season that they expected last year. And I think that they got off to a funky start this year, and they're saying let's try and nip this in the bud early. Like right now, Mike Brown is on a 3-year deal with Sacramento. They fired him, so he's going to be getting paid again.
For how many more years?
1 more year.
Oh yeah, he's still getting paid.
Yeah, but that's the point, nigga. This nigga get paid without having to do the work. As far as Doug Christie's concerned, I wouldn't hire Doug Christie to do nothing for me ever. Doug Christie couldn't sweep my floor ever, my nigga. I would never hire Doug Christie.
Why not?
To do anything. The reason I wouldn't hire Doug Christie to do anything is because I watched this. What's that special that Brian Gunn will be doing on HBO and shit? Inside Sport? Is that the name of it? I can't. Real Sports. And there was an episode on Real Sports, and this was years ago, and I wanted to check to see if he's still married before I do this. And he is. And Jackie Christie runs his life. To the point where he was playing with the Sacramento Kings, when he out on the bench, he wasn't allowed to look up because she said she didn't want him to catch the eye of a cheerleader or somebody in the crowd. And you see this on tape because they did a whole special on it to where he sits down on the bench after he gets subbed out and have to do this till he gets subbed back in. I know that's when he got cut from the Sacramento Kings after that documentary came out. Like, you're not even paying attention to the game to see what's going on, to be aware, to where your wife runs your life to where she, not only that, he can't look up when he was coach. How the fuck you gonna coach if you can't look up? Like, she really told the nigga he couldn't look up. I'm not even exaggerating. I'm 100% telling you verbatim what happened. Not only that, she has to go everywhere. Every away game, she has to be there because she doesn't trust any woman around him anywhere, and he's cool with all this shit. Seen a nigga with tights on and shit, with spandex with some shit.
You're over it.
I'm supportive of loving your woman and all that, but not to where she runs your life till you're not allowed to look up. That's what I'm saying. Like, me and my bitches look at asses together. If my girl don't like, not saying my girl don't like is a lesbian or anything, but we looking for, like, Larry, I'll see Larry with his wife out, and he'll be like, and shout out to Maribel, because Larry's wife is like, I love her to death. That's my sister. But I see Larry's wife, like, hey, look at that fat ass. She's like, yeah, it's kind of nice. It's okay. That's the vibes. Right or wrong, right? Yeah. That's
as far as you could go, though, right?
Yeah, that's that's definitely as far as you could go.
Larry trying to push the envelope.
That's definitely as far as you can go. And I'm going to make sure, Maribel, that's as far as he goes.
She said, don't let killer get you killed, nigga. You up there what it is, what it is. Yeah. Watch your mouth.
But listen, that's why females these days are super popular, because it's not frowned upon to look at other females like, oh, she's banging. For female to female and be like, oh, she looks good. Her body's nice. And this, that, third. So let me ask you, as a female, would you look at a female and be like, oh, she's fine?
I mean,
not that you want her.
Yeah. No, like, we do that all the time.
That's what I'm saying. It's not.
The older women be hating on each other.
That's what I'm saying.
They'll say it, but they don't really want to say it.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this though: would you be mad if you was with your nigga and he be like, "What you thinking of, babe? She's all right."
Not really. I'm not like, I don't overthink it. I'm not insecure.
Yeah, that's
like, if she looks good, we'd be like, dang, she look good, and we gonna keep going. Like, that's that.
What if he like double take though?
Nah, watch your eyes. Don't do too much. Don't do too much.
See, that's a good question, brother. But that's why that's why don't do the double take, and you let her know before the double take. Yo, Shit crazy, right? Cause listen, let me tell you, niggas, we stupid. We be so obvious that a girl walk in the room, they look good, you with your girl, you start doing this shit. And you looking over here on purpose. So niggas like, oh, you like her because you're forcing yourself to try to look away. But anyway, I wouldn't hire Doug. I don't know if he changed anything. This was years ago, but he's still married to her, and she's intense. I don't know if y'all watched that Basketball Wives shit.
Basketball Wives,
That was the same lady on Real Sports, for real. So
When he used to score, he used to do something.
oh yeah, you seen that shit? I see too. Every time he score, he got to give her a kiss.
Yeah.
No matter where she at.
Nah.
That's serious, bro.
That's
nah,
too.
it's a fact. He got to find.
He's supposed to be glorifying God. He giving her.
Yeah,
the
he
glory.
doing this every time he score. He do one of this, a kiss up. But like you said, niggas thought it was God until the documentary came out. It wasn't God. The kiss was for his wife. Yo, you right. I remember that part too. Yo, nah, they can't work with me.
You know what it sound like when you talking about Doug Christie? It sound like he was like caught probably 100 times cheating. That's what it sounds like as a married dude. It sounds like he was caught so many times that she said, "Nigga, when I see you, you better be looking down, nigga. I don't have no more times for this."
They do a wedding every year.
Oh yeah.
That was the other thing.
Yeah.
They do a wedding every year.
Yeah.
They renew their vows every year in front of everybody.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, that nigga was cheating.
yeah, like,
They've been married since
Pause.
'96.
yeah. Yeah, might not got a prenup.
Man, yeah.
But
No, but I'm saying that those actions, how the young niggas say, is giving cheating. It's giving. That's what it's giving, right?
Yeah,
Did I say it right,
It's
Stat?
giving cheating. Yeah.
It's definitely giving.
But my thing is-
it's definitely giving a pass to cheating.
my thing is this.
Probably not present day.
Yeah, and you could be right, but my thing is this: I'm not gonna be a prisoner. Even you knew I cheated, man. You knew what
even
happened.
you forgive
me.
or not.
You forgive me or you don't. Now,
that's
I'm
right.
gonna do this for 2 years. I'm gonna do this 2-3 years. I get it. I'm not trusted, but god damn, man. Word. I was
I
dealing
can
with
agree with you on that,
yeah,
Gilla.
I was dealing with a girl at one point, and she thought I cheated. And I didn't consider it cheating. you know what I'm saying?
What you do? What did you do?
Yeah, Killer is like, what was that? Married with Children? Al Bundy.
Yeah,
I didn't consider it cheating.
I didn't consider it cheating because we had rules, and the rules was, one of our rules was like, as long as you don't wife him or love him, and I don't wife or love her. So, what's the problem? And she kept bringing shit up, and I was like, I followed your rules.
Yeah.
I didn't say I didn't bone anybody else, but they're not my girlfriend. It's like, well, they think you're a girlfriend. What I do and what they think is two totally different things. I cannot control. I can't control what she's thinking in her brain.
What I do and what they think.
I can't control what this girl thinks, man.
Yeah.
So at the end of the
What
day,
I do and what they think is
yeah,
two
but the
different
point
things.
is, I said I got to escape because you can't. I'm not gonna be held victim to you going crazy when we had an agreement in the beginning that was cool, that you the main girl, no other girlfriends, you don't love her. All right, cool, I'm cool with that. But it kept saying, you fucked her, right? Yeah, I did. You fucked her? Yeah. Yeah, I know you did. I know how did. We had a deal. You know what the fuck are you talking about? Never mind. I don't want to be in this no more because you're not obliging to your own rules. So
What?
for real.
That's a lie. Like what?
This is what I've been listening to.
Hey, listen,
all these years.
So I don't ask further
Hey, look,
questions.
I make it real clear. I'm fucking with this bitch. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to. The bitch says, "Look, this is the rules." Because I like the bitch because she like girls. So I'm like, we might could work out. You know what I'm saying? So she says, as long as you don't have no girlfriend and you don't love these bitches, then I don't give a fuck what you do. I said, bet. But she'll find out who I'm fucking and be like, you fuck her? And I'm like, yeah. Did you fuck her? And I'm like, yeah. She'll be like, yeah, all right. And I'm like, what are you mad about? It's because before we got into this, you actually said that it was okay for me to fuck other bitches. Like, yeah, but she thinks she your girlfriend. And I'm like, I can't control what she think. I can't really control that, but you're not obliging by what you said. And they kept going on and on. And I was like, I don't want to do it. I'm not doing it with you. Because these are the rules. If you didn't set these rules before we got in this relationship, I wouldn't agree to do it.
Okay. This is the perfect time to say this is the last call. I'm putting together a dating show for Cam. Make sure y'all apply. Contact us at babyentertainment.com. Last call, final call. Can't wait to see y'all. This is going to be interesting.
Doug Christie a no-go though, man. So I don't know if he changed his life around or whatever, but I can't. And I think relationships should be mutual, but I don't think his shit is even mutual. I think it's like a 70-30 in favor of her. And I'm being nice giving it 30. Jackie Christie.
Yeah, shout out to Jackie Christie. You got to put these niggas in their place.
Sometimes you got to pop out and show niggas.
Shout out to Jackie Christie.
Facts. And she's been doing it since 96, so shout out to him. Okay. We're going to go to break. When we return, we got to discuss the Lakers and an important trade that happened when we were on the break.
Yo, real talk. There's a certain type of honesty that be making people uncomfortable. Not cause it's mean, not cause it's loud, but cause it don't perform for nobody. That's the energy behind one of the most talked about moments to come out of Cameron in recent memory. He sat across from the interviewer, calm, unbothered, almost laughing at the question they was asking him. And he dropped something that's been running through timelines, group chats, and barbershops ever since. What I do and what they think is two different things. 5 words, sound simple on the surface, but it's carrying the weight of a whole philosophy on relationships, image, and the gap between what you actually do behind closed doors and what people out here think they know. To get why this hit as hard as it did, you gotta know who's saying it. Cameron ain't some new voice trying to find an angle for clout. Man's been a fixture in hip-hop and the culture for over 2 decades, known for being unpredictable, unfiltered, and completely immune to saying whatever's supposed to be said. So when they asked him about cheating, about loyalty, about what people expect out of men in relationships, he ain't reached for the safe answer. He ain't performed no fake sorry. He ain't pretend to be some saint. He just drew a line between 2 separate worlds, the world of what's actually going on, and the world of what people believe is going on. And he told everybody straight up, those 2 worlds don't gotta match. That's the whole conversation right there. 'Cause whether you with it or not, whether you think it's wisdom or recklessness, there's something real buried in that statement. Everybody out here curating a version of theyself for public consumption. Everybody managing perception. The question Cameron forcing us to sit with is whether that's dishonesty, or whether that's just privacy. Let's start with the obvious reaction. A lot of people heard that quote and immediately ran it under toxic masculinity, under justifying cheating, under another celebrity normalizing being foul. And on the surface, yeah, that makes sense. We're living in a culture that spent the last decade pushing hard against secrecy in relationships. Transparency became the new currency of trust. If you ain't posting your partner, if you ain't narrating your relationship online, if you ain't constantly proving loyalty through visible moves, suspicion creeps in fast. So naturally, a public figure saying perception don't need to match reality sounds like a red flag to a whole generation raised on relationship transparency culture. But strip away the cheating headline for a second, and look at what he's actually describing. He ain't necessarily confessing to nothing specific. He's describing a worldview built out of decades of being a public figure whose every move getting dissected by strangers who don't know nothing about his real life. When you've been living under that kind of scrutiny that long, you build up armor. You learn the public's perception of you ain't never gonna match the full picture, no matter how hard you try to correct it. So at some point, a lot of public figures stop even trying to correct it. They accept there's always gonna be a gap between the story people make up about them and the reality they actually living. Cameron, in his own blunt way, was just naming that gap. He was saying, I know what people assume about me. I know the stories. I know the speculation, but none of that changed what's actually true in my life. The assumption and the fact is 2 different things, and I ain't trying to burn my energy closing that gap for an audience that was never owed the full story in the first place. That's a whole different read than just normalizing cheating. That's a statement about boundaries, about the limits of what the public actually deserves to know, about refusing to let outside judgment run how you live your life. Now let's get into why this hits so deep beyond celebrity culture. 'Cause real talk, most people who heard that quote wasn't even thinking about Cameron's personal life. They was thinking about their own. Almost everybody, at some point, done lived this exact same tension. You make a decision, you live your life, you carry choices that the people around you, friends, family, co-workers, partners, simply don't got full access to. And they form opinions anyway. They fill in the blanks with assumptions, with gossip, with their own projections of what they think going on. And no matter how much you try to explain yourself, that perception often hardens into something that ain't got nothing to do with the truth. That's the universal nerve this quote touching. It ain't really about cheating specifically. It's about the exhausting, damn near impossible job of managing how other people see you. We all been through the frustration of being misjudged, of having somebody build a whole narrative about your character off partial information, second-hand stories, or their own insecurities they're projecting onto you. And at some point, most people land on the same conclusion Cameron landed on publicly. You can't control what people think. You can only control what you actually do. And eventually, you gotta decide which one matter more to your peace. This is where it gets real interesting, 'cause it forces a question most relationship advice never straight up ask. Is it more important to be honest, or is it more important to be seen as honest? Sound like the same thing, but it ain't. Being honest is about your actual actions and your actual integrity. Being seen as honest is about managing optics, performing reassurance, constantly proving yourself just to calm somebody else's anxiety. A lot of relationships today built almost completely off that second category. Constant location sharing, constant check-ins, constant access to phones, passwords, socials. Not 'cause trust exists, but 'cause trust got replaced with surveillance dressed up as love. And what Cameron's statement do, on purpose or not, is challenge that whole framework. He's basically saying, I refuse to let my actual integrity get measured by how much access somebody got to watch me. What I do speak for itself. I don't need to put on no proof for an audience that's gonna believe whatever story they want to believe regardless of what evidence I show him. Now, that's a fair point coming back at this, and it deserves real attention instead of getting brushed off. Relationships built on more than just personal freedom. They built on mutual vulnerability, on shared info, on the agreement that two people choosing to be known by each other in a way they ain't known by the rest of the world. If one partner adopt that mindset, what I do and what you think is two different things, and treat that like a permanent wall instead of just a temporary frustration, that ain't privacy no more, that's distance. That's the foundation of secrets, not partnership. The line between protecting your peace from public judgment and protecting yourself from accountability inside a real relationship, that's a real line, and it matter which side of it you're standing on. So maybe the real wisdom in this quote ain't a universal rule for relationships. Maybe it's just a reminder that line even exists. 'Cause there's a version of privacy that's healthy. Not needing to explain every decision to coworkers, extended family, or social media strangers who ain't got real stake in your life. And there's a version of secrecy that eat away at you, hiding fundamental truths from somebody who earned the right to know 'em 'cause you all built a life together. Cameron's quote, taken at face value, fit perfectly with that first category, and tain't dangerous if you misapply it to the second. This actually a pattern you see all through the culture whenever a public figure drop a quote like this. It gets stripped out of context and turned into a meme, a caption, a justification tool for whoever wanna use it that way. Somebody who been caught lying to their partner can screenshot this quote and use it like armor. What I do and what they think is two different things, they can say. Like that settle the whole argument. Like perception not matching reality automatically mean it's virtuous instead of maybe being assigned something getting hit for a reason. But that's the danger of taking one quote and turning it into a whole life philosophy without checking the deeper context it actually came from. The deeper truth, the one really worth sitting with, is this. Managing your perception ain't automatically dishonest, and being transparent ain't automatically virtuous. Both depend completely on what's being protected and who actually earned the right to know it. If you're protecting your peace from strangers who got no stake in your life, that's healthy boundary setting. If you're protecting secrets from somebody who share a life with you, built on the explicit understanding you're gonna be honest with each other, that's a whole different thing. And no clever quote changed that math. What make Cameron's statement so culturally sticky, though, is the tone behind it. Not defensive, not panicked, not out here desperate to convince nobody of nothing. Just a flat acknowledgement that public perception and private truth often don't line up. And he made peace with that gap a long time ago. There's a kind of freedom in that mindset a lot of people quietly want, even if they'd never admit it out loud. The freedom of not needing the world's approval to feel secure in your own choices. The freedom of letting your actions speak on their own terms, instead of always translating them into a version that's easy to swallow for outside judgment. And maybe that's the real lesson buried under all them cheating headlines and outrage cycles. Not a defense of cheating, not no blueprint for relationships, but a bigger meditation on this exhausting human habit of needing other people's perception to validate our own reality. At some point, everybody gotta decide how much energy they're willing to burn correcting narratives that was never gonna be accurate in the first place. At some point, everybody gotta decide if their sense of integrity coming from inside theyself or from the approval of an audience that don't actually know the full story and probably never gonna know it. Cameron ain't dropped no moral lesson in that interview. He held up a mirror. And what people see reflected back depend completely on what they're already carrying. Some saw confirmation that powerful men can always justify their behavior. Others saw a refreshing rejection of a culture obsessed with surveillance dressed up as love. Both reactions say more about the person reacting than they say about them 5 words that started it all. What I do and what they think is 2 different things. Maybe the real question ain't whether that statement right or wrong. Maybe the real question is which side of that gap you're comfortable living on, and who, if anybody, deserve to get let in close enough to close it. If this video got you thinking, that's exactly the point. Drop a comment and let me know which side of this you land on. Cause the conversation honestly more interesting than the headline. And if you want more breakdowns like this, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. Drop a like if you made it this far, and I'll catch you in the next video.